the world's largest music products industry event. The NAMM Show attracts more than 100,000 registered attendees from around the globe to sunny Anaheim, California each winter. For members of the tight-knit music products community, the show is their annual family reunion, a chance to connect and network with their industry peers. Check out the latest music, sound, and lighting products and technologies and celebrate the one thing that unites them all: music. This exclusive event is sponsored by NAMM, the not-for-profit trade association that represents thousands of companies from around the world. A far cry from its humble beginnings. In 1901, 52 New York piano dealers came together to start their own association. This was the heyday of the piano, a time when there were more pianos than bathtubs. And New York was the heart of the piano industry. But it was also home to a growing number of unscrupulous business people who were passing off cheaply made instruments as more expensive brands. Creating the National Association of Piano Dealers of America, NAMM's predecessor, not only enabled music retailers to work together to combat such poor practices, it also fostered communication and support between its members. The new association held its first convention in 1902, and over the next decade, its members worked hard to improve the professionalism of the industry. The small association would later establish a presence on Capitol Hill, where they fought to create laws enforcing fair practices in the marketing of musical instruments. As the association continued to grow, so did public interest in music making. Current dance crazes, the introduction of early jazz, and the music of John Philip Sousa helped to boost the popularity of bands. As a result, the sale of band and orchestra instruments grew as well. To keep up with the increasing demand for musical instruments, many piano retailers became full-time dealers. And in 1919, NAPTA changed its name to the National Association of Music Merchants, or NAMM, so it could better represent the entire industry and include a variety of musical segments. The Roaring '20s were just that, roaring with change and possibility. Radios were all the rage since people could now listen to and enjoy music in a whole new way. However, the impact of this new technology was immediately felt by the music products industry.
Radio apparently just really took over. The phonographs and radios became the passive entertainment for the home, and the player piano went out of favor.
Concerned about the future of its largest segment, the NAMM board endorsed piano classes in the schools. By the mid-1920s, radios and electronic phonographs lined the shelves next to musical instruments. And before long, the local music store became the place to check out all the latest technology. Even inventor Thomas Edison debuted some of his newest products at the NAMM Show. The stock market crash of 1929 marked the start of the Great Depression, a low point for both manufacturers and dealers alike. 1 in every 4 people in the U.S. was unemployed, and more than 1,000 music products companies went under. Sales of high-end instruments, including pianos, plummeted. But in the midst of crisis, clever harmonica companies saw this as an opportunity to market their product as an inexpensive, lightweight answer to making music. The Great Depression had an enormous impact on the NAMM shows, with exhibitor numbers dropping off and 2 of the shows being canceled altogether. During this difficult time, NAMM members struggled for items to put on their shelves and often doubled as pawn shops as people scrambled to pay their bills. Many stores even began carrying non-musical products.
Back during the Depression, the music business just went to pot, And so music stores all over the country were looking for something to make up the volume they were losing, and electric refrigerators were coming in at that time. So it was quite common for music stores to go into electric refrigerators.
NAMM focused on helping its members through this difficult period, and many believed it was just a matter of time before things turned around. no one suspecting the challenges that loomed ahead. Following the attack upon Pearl Harbor in 1941, the production of virtually every musical instrument came to a halt due to the lack of raw materials available during World War II.
Couldn't build pianos because we couldn't get the metal put in the plates, or the plate manufacturers couldn't get them. We couldn't get steel to make strings. Everything was commandeered for the war effort.
Over the next few years, many manufacturers retooled their machines to help with the wartime efforts, producing such items as airplane parts, ammo containers, bomb casings, and detonators. Following the war, a new optimism surfaced, and the association rallied to get the industry back on track. NAMM members met in committee groups throughout the nation to gain ideas and support. And since so many servicemen were now in need of jobs, NAMM developed a program retraining GIs to work in their local music store or to start one of their own. Suddenly, there was increased demand for music lessons, and the growth of music education in the public schools resulted in more business for instrument rental programs in retail stores. NAMM helped to facilitate this relationship by helping its dealers to partner with their school music education programs. However, many fear that another depression might be right around the corner. So to ensure that business remained upbeat, NAMM members worked with other industry organizations to create the American Music Conference, a nonprofit organization designed to promote the benefits of making music to the general public. Fortunately, the economy held strong, and in 1951, NAMM celebrated its 50th anniversary at the Stevens Hotel in Chicago with nearly 1,600 people in attendance. There was a lot to celebrate. This was the beginning of the post-war baby boom, and proud parents everywhere wanted their children to play a musical instrument. The demand for music lessons was at an all-time high, and by 1956, just about every segment of the industry experienced record sales. The NAMM shows also thrived during this time, with more than 8,000 people filling the exhibit halls to check out the latest trends and innovations. The popularity of the television in the 1950s also brought many a musical trend with it, including ukuleles.
When I walk through the door, baby, be polite.
Then came the introduction of rock and roll, forever changing the industry and making a huge impression on young people everywhere. But while rock music helped put guitars on the map, the market didn't really explode until... The popularity of the Beatles set off the greatest music instrument buying spree the world had ever seen. Bands began popping up in garages and basements everywhere, and all of the instruments the Beatles played, from electric guitars and amps to drums and harmonicas, were flying off the shelves at local music stores, resulting in round-the-clock production by NAMM member companies. Meanwhile, the sales of print music and the demand for music lessons also picked up dramatically, as kids everywhere wanted to play like the Fab Four.
The Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show pretty much did it. I wanted to do that, and wear those clothes and have those chicks and have have that hair and have that accent and wear those boots and you know what I'm saying, and play those great tunes.
As a result of this cultural shift, the number of combo instrument stores increased dramatically, yet the business was still quite small. And the NAMM show floor acted as a metaphor for the industry, with 2/3 of exhibitors displaying records, radios, and TVs.
Now is Mr. Bill Gard, who is the Executive Vice President of the National Association of Music Merchants. Bill, congratulations on a fine show. How long has this been happening?
Thank you very much, Jim. 65 years this show's been going on.
And I presume it's growing every year.
It has grown every year since then. Of course, it's getting much larger today because 65 years ago we had nothing like television, stereo, or hi-fi.
Throughout the 1960s, NAMM strived to refine its role as an association. Introducing Music USA, a compilation of industry statistics that would prove useful to its members and the media. Commissioning national surveys so the industry could better understand the current mindset of its consumers. And producing a timely guide to sales and marketing for NAMM member retailers. In 1970, NAMM held its first Western market trade show in Los Angeles, a city alive with music during a time of great cultural change. In an effort to grow the market, the association unveiled Discover Music, a public campaign designed to raise awareness about music and music education. At the 1973 NAMM show in Chicago, home organs made up a fourth of the entire industry. They were fun, affordable, and full of interesting bells and whistles. And just about every mall in the United States had an organ store.
You know, if you think about the organ, at one point people really got excited about hearing a mighty Wurlitzer theater organ. And for a generation that was raised on that, the idea of being able to take that, some approximation of that into your house was pretty appealing.
After alternating between Los Angeles and San Francisco, in 1976, the NAMM Western Market Trade Show moved to the Disneyland Hotel in Anaheim, where it remained for several years. To better understand the public's perception about music making, NAMM funded its first Gallup poll in 1978. However, people had a lot on their minds in the late 70s. The United States was in a deep recession, with interest rates soaring up to 20% and retailer bankruptcy rates mirroring those of the Great Depression. The home organ craze was nearing its end, but the same technology that made them so popular would take them in an entirely new direction. From synthesizers to drum machines and sound modules, music took on an entirely new sound in the 1980s. Yet many musicians were frustrated because these cutting-edge instruments came with different proprietary interfaces. That is, until a historic meeting took place between manufacturers.
My instruments wouldn't connect to Roland's instruments, who wouldn't connect to Yamaha's instruments. So fortunately, we got smart about it and decided we really needed to have an interface that was common, and that's where MIDI came from.
In 1981, the Anaheim Convention Center became the new home to the NAMM show. So to reflect the growth of its winter show and the increasing industry presence in Los Angeles, NAMM moved its headquarters from Chicago to Southern California. In the 1990s, the rejection of overly produced music came in the form of a new genre called grunge. Its back-to-the-basics approach to rock, as well as MTV's popular Unplugged concert series, helped to revitalize the sales of acoustic guitars. The business side of the industry was also changing. NAMM held its first global summit in 1993, uniting industry leaders from around the world, allowing them to explore emerging markets, reinforce international relationships, and discuss avenues to long-term sustainable industry growth. Meanwhile, the internet began globalizing the way people do business.
I think that the retailers, although many of them were slow to pick it up, are picking it up because it's the customer's choice now. The customer likes shopping that way also, not in lieu of, also.
To address new technology and many other timely topics, the association launched NAMM University, which offered a variety of free professional development sessions at the trade shows as well as courses online. In April of 1997, NAMM moved to its new industry headquarters building in Carlsbad, California, where it also housed the Museum of Making Music. The NAMM board created the museum to capture the industry's history as it approached its first centennial. And what started as a way to share our industry's legacy has since grown into a popular cultural destination and a fun, interactive experience where 45,000 people a year from around the world get to learn about our industry's heritage and make a little music of their own. In 1998, with the Anaheim Convention Center under expansion, NAMM moved its January show to Los Angeles. And over the next few years, the association continued to work towards its mission of growing the industry and creating more active music makers. Introducing a variety of turnkey market development programs designed to help retailers bring more customers into their stores.
That was probably the largest change that the entire industry has seen, and that is, here's an organization that did one thing basically, and now it does a multitude of things, all pointed at helping increase the number of music makers.
Major funding for this program was provided by NAMM, the International Music Products Association.
NAMM also initiated a number of important market-building partnerships, working with the Smithsonian Institute on Piano 300, and joining with Sesame Workshop to create Sesame Street Music Works, an important initiative focusing on music making for preschoolers. The new millennium brought changes that NAMM's founders could never have imagined. Hip-hop music topped the charts, the emergence of eBay and internet music stores changed buyers' habits. And in 2001, NAMM celebrated a century of service to the music products industry with its largest trade show to date in the newly expanded Anaheim Convention Center. But what began as a year of celebration ended as a year of tragedy and uncertainty when the events of September 11th changed everything. The stock market tumbled, the dot-com bubble burst, and the industry was once again forced to adapt to a new paradigm. As a result, the fate of the 2002 NAMM show was questioned, but the event went on as planned, proving to everyone in attendance that the industry was still strong and the NAMM community was tighter than ever. In an effort to foster long-term, sustainable growth for the industry, NAMM partnered with key organizations to introduce the concept of recreational music making, generating a growing category of people who make music as a hobby.
Elmo's only 3.5, and so Elmo hopes when he goes to school, there'll be music instruments when he goes.
The association also expanded its profile on Capitol Hill, and as a result, NAMM's government relations efforts helped to get the No Child Left Behind Act passed, ensuring that music and the arts remain core subjects in the public schools. And to increase public awareness, NAMM sponsored music-themed floats in the Tournament of Roses Parade and Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, sharing the important message about the benefits of making music with millions of families around the world. The association also introduced SupportMusic.com, which provides people with the tools and resources needed to strengthen or save their school music programs and advocate on behalf of music education in their community. With borders blurring as business was becoming increasingly global, in 2005, NAMM created NAMM International LLC. This new arm of the association was designed to strengthen the industry and serve the needs of members around the world, as well as the international companies exhibiting at the NAMM trade shows. To expand the association's reach, provide more value to its international members, and help grow the industry globally, NAMM began hosting educational sessions at Music China, and partnering with Music Messe, debuted its first international shows in the Russian and Eastern European markets.
It's such a large territory, it's like, I think it's 9,000 kilometers east-west, so how on earth do you go and see everybody? So if you're in one place, people can come and see you.
To help grow the industry as a whole, in the fall of 2006, NAMM created a series of compelling public service announcements and mainstream marketing campaigns, using the star power of well-known celebrities who enjoy making music. This was followed by the next generation of PSAs, the Just Play initiative, which featured people of all ages and levels of experience playing instruments just for the fun of it. The NAMM Foundation was also established in 2006. This nonprofit organization was created to support the industry through philanthropic giving, public service programs, and scientific research grants. The NAMM Foundation also became a vehicle for our members to give back and support music making, knowing their donations would be leveraged by NAMM's resources and expertise. And while the economy had rebounded since 2001, the worst was yet to come as the U.S. entered the Great Recession, the most disabling financial crisis since the Great Depression of the 1930s. Over the next few years, while some segments continued to grow, the entire music products industry would ultimately shrink by nearly 20%.
The day Daddy's died, that night, my phone did not stop ringing. I got calls from all over the country from people. And it was like a funeral, you know. There were a lot of people shocked, and the domino effect in that market was catastrophic.
With more people staying closer to home and the decisions to purchase weighing more heavily, NAMM worked tirelessly to keep music making on the minds of consumers to help drive sales and create more active music makers. Fortunately, as it always had in tough times, the world turned to music for comfort, entertainment, and inspiration. And music making could be seen everywhere you looked, from mainstream magazine and television ads to popular TV shows and reality music competitions. And while the industry once again faced economic uncertainty, just as it had been during the Depression, NAMM was there to assist its members and help them face whatever laid ahead. The association's ability to support its members in good times and in bad, dipping into its reserves when needed, is the direct result of responsible fiscal management and a unique financial model NAMM calls its circle of benefits. Revenues derived from NAMM's trade shows are channeled back into the industry through programs that stimulate market demand for music products, fund music education advocacy programs, and create valuable public relations campaigns that keep music making on the minds of consumers. These efforts have led to steady industry growth even during tough economic times, which in turn has helped the trade shows to thrive as well. The outcome of this circle of benefits is a strong association dedicated to ensuring the future of the music products industry. By 2010, electronic dance music was gaining worldwide popularity, and music technology was once again in a period of rapid change and growth. Hardware was giving way to apps and software, while paradoxically, an explosion of handcrafted boutique instruments began appearing on the trade show floor. The school band and orchestra segment was also flourishing. As internet sales continued to increase, retailers from all segments of the economy began to realize that customers wanted the specialized service of brick and mortar and the convenience of researching and shopping online. Many NAMM members adapted quickly and made their stores and websites all part of their united marketing strategy. With Amazon Prime starting to offer next-day deliveries right to people's doorsteps, it was clear once again that retail was being revolutionized by technology. So, as the economy inched its way back toward recovery, NAMM worked to address these shifts by making its trade shows and educational offerings a more relevant and value-added experience. This included the day-long retail boot camps and popular NAMM U breakfast sessions, as well as the short focused sessions going throughout the day at the NAMM U Idea Center. To help strengthen its ties with the pro audio, recording, and touring industry, NAMM worked with the industry partners to offer Tech Tracks pro audio training, as well as a variety of sessions appealing to members of the live recording, touring, and event production industries. And in 2011, NAMM also began hosting the Tech Awards, the most prestigious awards event in the professional audio and sound production industry. 3 years later, the association took ownership of the show, giving it a new look and feel. In addition to the awards show and all of the free professional education available at the NAMM show, members could also attend an eclectic array of live musical events, networking, and music advocacy opportunities, such as the Grand Rally for Music Education. Meanwhile, NAMM's mid-year gathering continued to focus on its commitment to the community of music store owners and the vendors who support them, with retailers of all segments and sizes coming to rely on Summer NAMM as a great place to find unique product debuts, build relationships with their suppliers, and gear up for the busy fall and holiday selling season ahead.
And the 2019 Dealer of the Year is Cosmo Music.
And starting in 2011, Summer NAMM became home to the Top 100 Dealer Awards, celebrating the proactive spirit of the independent music dealer, and was dubbed the Retail Oscars by Music Inc. magazine. In 2013, Summer NAMM made the move to the beautiful new Music City Center, resulting in a dynamic new energy and a definite resurgence in the show's popularity and participation. But perhaps NAMM's most important move during these years has been the creation and adoption of the association's mission, vision, and objectives. The document, drafted by the NAMM Strategic Planning Committee, made up of representatives from all member segments, and then ratified and approved by NAMM's Board of Directors, clarified the scope of the association's work and helped to set priorities for how best to serve the members and grow the industry in the years ahead. NAMM's mission, vision, and objectives, as well as its long-term strategy for growth, were on display in a big way at the 2018 NAMM Show, as the event experienced a huge jump in registration and a more diverse array of attendees than ever before, thanks to its successful Crossroads initiative.
NAMM has always been traditionally focused on music products, those instruments and accessories that you find in a music retail store. A musician, of course, would utilize. But we had a vision 10 years ago. Could we bring all segments of the industry together, meaning the sound community, those that are on the road, live sound we hear all over, from a hotel to a concert? Could we bring the event technology community here, those that are creating stage setups and outdoor experiences? Really, the goal was to bring all these communities together. So not only conduct business, but also exchange ideas, connect, and share in a way that they really can't do any other place in the NAMM Show.
Paving the way for NAMM to give pro audio, recording, and live sound their own dedicated area is the beautiful ACC North, a 200,000 square foot expansion of the Anaheim Convention Center.
Even discussing with other exhibitors, we're really happy because we think that you guys are able to accommodate us in a special place for pro audio, and this gives us more visibility, and we have a better selection of people coming by because they're coming to see us to see pro audio. So we're very happy and very excited with this new location here, actually.
You got to be able to touch and feel the stuff before you go out and spend all this money. So it's great to be able to come out and see the new stuff that's gonna, take over the industry in the next few years.
We've seen a lot of key lighting designers from around the world, which is very important to us because that's a big part of our market. A lot of end users we're able to connect with, which we can then put on to our local Southern California dealers and dealers all over America.
We are stardust, we are golden, and we got to get ourselves back to the garden.
The 2020 NAMM Show also set records, with more than 2,000 exhibiting member companies representing 7,000 brands and displaying the latest products to more than 116,000 NAMM attendees. And while the NAMM Crossroads initiative has resulted in the expansion of the show's pro audio, recording, live sound, and entertainment exhibitors and attendees, the show has never wavered in keeping NAMM's core membership engaged, informed, and inspired.
If you can't find product to fit your needs as a music retailer here, there's something wrong.
The NAMM Show is one of those places that you always walk away with new inspirations and new friends.
For me, the NAMM Show is a window to the future.
The 2020 NAMM Tech Awards honored Joni Mitchell, its first female Les Paul Award recipient, and members attended a variety of events, concerts, and educational sessions across the busy show campus. However, no one could have imagined the drastic changes the next few months would hold for the entire industry as the COVID-19 pandemic spread around the world. forcing many NAMM member companies to close their businesses and self-quarantine. And while these difficult days proved tragic for some, other dealers with a well-established online presence enjoyed record sales of instruments and home recording gear as people used their time in isolation to learn, make, and record music. As always, NAMM worked diligently to serve and support its members through challenging times, creating dozens of webinars to help them in their businesses. In place of its annual DC fly-in, NAMM held an online music advocacy summit. The association also deferred membership renewal for members enduring hardship so they could take advantage of the helpful resources NAMM had available for them during the quarantine. NAMM ultimately decided to cancel 2020 Summer NAMM in Nashville and transform its 2021 NAMM show into a virtual event, Believe in Music Week.
So we found ourselves in the middle of this unfolding global pandemic, something none of us had had any experience with. And we had come to the point where we knew we could not produce the Winter NAMM show safely. As a matter of fact, it was not a decision. The governments had made the decision for us. We could not produce the Winter NAMM show. First time in almost 80 years, and something again. The XCOM and all of us, the board, so supportive. But was it a tough decision? Not really, because it was made for us. The tough part was dealing with the reality of it and what it would mean for us as the organization and us as an industry. So we looked at what could we do, what were the most important elements in the middle of this very surreal time, but we wanted to create a platform to launch new products. We wanted to create a platform for education, especially now, to help our members be more successful. We wanted to do our best to try and create that sense of community that happens when people gather at the NAMM show. So we got to work. And from scratch, we created the Believe in Music platform, which became Believe in Music Week in January of 2021.
NAMM employees worked diligently to create an entirely new vision for the 2021 trade show. A robust virtual environment that brought together all of the best elements of a NAMM show, including products, education, networking, award shows, celebrities, and of course, music.
It was truly incredible to see the global response to Believe in Music Week, the online gathering to unify and support the people who bring music to the world. In total, we had over 95,000 attendees from 187 countries, passionate music makers, passionate music fans, passionate industry members who joined us to really celebrate and help us bring music to the world.
Yes, NAMM has come a long way since its creation in 1901. From a small association of 52 piano dealers to uniting a worldwide community of music products professionals from every segment. And with the association bringing together the best in music performance, pro audio, and technology products in Anaheim each January, the NAMM show has truly solidified its position as the industry's global trade show. So what headlines will emerge in the years to come? Where will the world's current circumstances take us? It's still too soon to tell. However, one thing is certain. Despite wars, economic recessions, shifts in technology, and global pandemics, NAMM has been and will always be there to serve its members so they can continue to do what they do best. Bring the joy of music making to the world.